This is a story of John. John is an ordinary guy like many of us who goes to work in a multinational company. But John has one sacred side of himself as a lover, and whatever feeling of love that he feels inspired within him, he writes down in a paper, and he has compiled all of them in a form of a book. And he struggled a lot to get this book published because he feels inspired to share it with the world. But there was one publisher who finds some interest in his work, and he goes to meet that publisher, and the owner invites him at his home, and they had some talk. And in regularly every next day, because of some work, he used to go to that publisher's house. The publishing house is not so huge, so big, but ordinary publishing house. And there he meets this girl who is daughter of this owner of this publishing house, and they fell in love with each other. But some tragedy happens in the life of John, that John has a car accident, and news spreads that John has died. But in fact, John has never died. But the girl was very much hurt because she was truly in love with him, and they were about to marry also. But the girl was so much hurt by John, and she was so much in love with him, that she decided that in some way she will always keep John alive in her life. So she goes to the home of John and finds his stuff, and there she finds this beautiful book that he wanted to be published, and she consults her father to about the book, and they release this book. But the beginning of the book had this introduction that this book is from my daughter and her love. She doesn't want to display the name of her lover, and she writes the name as My Love, book from my love. The writer name was written as My Love, and there was a small story written as an introduction that this guy was a very beautiful guy and writing this poetry of their love. But unfortunately, this guy has died, and the girl is so much in love with him that she wants to keep him alive in some form. So they are composing his poetry in a form of book and to release it. And this worked as advertisement to the book, and the book gets published, and book become very famous. So many people get attracted to this introduction, this sad love story of the girl, and that the girl is releasing the book by the name of the author as My Love. And yes, and then the girl would give many interviews to the people that how much she loved him, what a beautiful person he was, what a sacred side of a beautiful sacred side of him, of this poetry, that many of the poetry was belonging to her also, of their love story. And their publishing house also started to grow because book soon became a worldwide bestseller. But that guy whose car accident had happened had not died. He was into some countryside hospital. From there he recovered after 3-4 months, and on his way to home he was very happy that he was well, and he was thinking that many people who loved him would be worried about him. In his way he sees this advertisement of his book somewhere, and he was very excited that his girlfriend made this book published. But when he reached to the house of the publisher and the daughter, there the girl was very happy to see him alive as the first glance. But after that, the girl and the father of the girl became very sad to see him alive, because this book became famous with this point that the guy has died. And now if they release this story that the guy is still alive, then everything, the soul of the book will be lost. So they decided not to make it public that this guy has written this book, and this guy had no proof, no copyright of his work, because the girl was his own girlfriend, and he never thought such thing could have happened. It was destiny, and the guy could not prove all his life that he was the writer, the real writer of that book, and all credit of the book goes to the girl and her dead boyfriend. And they kept this my love always alive in the history of the world, and the book became very famous. And after some time, the book get lost. Okay, this story is like a parable about Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ has given a parable. It is about a parable of a tenant. He said that he went on to tell the people this parable. It is Jesus who went there, and he said about a vineyard, that somebody rented his vineyard to the farmers, and he went away for a long time. And when the harvest time came, then he sent some people not to get the vineyard back, but to get some fruits, because he was the owner of the vineyard. But the people who were the tenants, they beat the servant or the executive whom the owner sent for some fruit, and they returned him back. And after that, the owner sends another person and another person. And 3 times these tenants were slightly cruel or selfish people who beat them and returned them. After that, vineyard's owner felt that what should he do? So he thinks that probably something is wrong with my executive. I should send my son to them. And the son is somebody whom I love. Perhaps they will respect this son when he goes to the vineyard. And when he goes there, the tenants thought that this son is the only person that the owner has, and he is going to inherit this vineyard. So why not we kill this son and get all the vineyard to ourselves? And after that, these tenants really killed the son. And this is the parable that Jesus Christ is saying. And Jesus Christ also said that now what will the owner do? What will the owner do with those people who killed the tenant, who being a tenant killed the son of the owner? And then Jesus Christ says that the owner would remove these people or give them punishment. Kind of, this was a parable that Jesus Christ was saying, but it is very symbolic parable that we all have this vineyard. Many of us have many big churches in name of Jesus Christ. Many one of us has our identity in name of divinity. But when God comes to us, are we ready to accept or give up everything? Like when Jesus Christ was there, many people were living religious life, and Jesus Christ chose them to him. He appointed them to him, and he said that follow me. And many people would wanted to turn back to follow him, because everything that we have is like a gift from us. But not everybody is ready to get back to from the gratitude, state of gratitude, or acknowledging the state of grace, is ready to return. In the parable of Jesus Christ, this vineyard owner sends people for just some fruit from his own vineyard, but tenants were not ready to give it to them, and rather he was beating the executive who would come to take the fruit. And after that, when the son comes as a peacemaker, they kill him. So kind of this is happening everywhere. And this parable that we started with, the story of the John was a guy, ordinary guy, but the girl and the girl father was so much. They had a small publishing house, but because this book became worldwide bestseller, their publishing house becomes international publishing house, and they get recognition. So to get back to their originality, it was not easy for them to get back there. The greed of fame, name, money, sometimes it is good, we need, because if it was not needed in the parable of Jesus Christ, he said that God, the owner himself, given this vineyard to the tenants, and God gives us all the glory, all the fame, but we forget who is the owner. We start to get this feeling of being the owner. So we have many things of Christ with us, everything, because in the beginning there was a word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. With this word, God has created everything, and not even a single thing in this world is made without this word. So are we ready to realize this originality of us? Are we ready to give some fruits to the honor if honor ever demands it from us? Are we going to give the name of the person who is the real author of this destiny, of this work, or this fame? Are we going to acknowledge the real honor or real person ever or not, that our spirit is our real truth, our soul is our real truth? When we are ready to acknowledge our reality, this is the beginning of spirituality. So when Jesus comes, when spirituality comes, when the truth knocks at our door, are we going to open the door or not? Or we have something like that girl or her father or the students that we want to have control and don't want to give it back, or we are going to open the door. This depends on us. And answer of this question is that if we open the door is the beginning of the spirituality. It is the beginning of our truth. It is the beginning of our real journey. And the word of Jesus Christ is this, that God has created all of us for glory. God has created all of us to be the kings. God has created all of us as the sons and daughters of God, because we all are made in God's own image, and kingdom of heaven belong to all of us. Just we trust God and open the door, we will be given much more than what we already have. Just we gotta believe. When we believe, we accept the divinity. When we accept divinity, then we bear much fruit. But this understanding depends on our own discernment, and the moment we go for it, the moment we start to live for it, for our truth, to acknowledge the real honor of everything that we have. We pay few cents for an apple, and we feel the apple's price is just few cents. But think it over. No scientist, if they invest all their energy to create anything like an apple, no one, and there cannot be any price for anything that can be created like an apple with some cent or some dollar only. It is priceless. Everything in this world is priceless. Even our eyes, our nose, our voice, everything is priceless. And realizing this pricelessness of everything is the beginning of spirituality. So with a prayer for spirituality, grace, and gratitude in your life, I thank you so much, because it is the wish of God that may kingdom of heaven belong to you. May you attain all the success, all the glory. And thank you so much for listening to these words with so much of love. And may we welcome when the sun comes at our door for asking for some fruit, or a real honor of our destiny comes. We all are creator of our own destiny, but still our success doesn't limit to just ourselves. It is meant to distribute and spread to everybody, because we all are in a one family, and the greatest command of Jesus Christ is love one another. My success is your success, and your success is success of your entire family. So with these words, I thank you for listening to these words. May God bless you. Thank you so much.